Okay, why Alliant Black MZ instead of the Holy Black, the only one true powder? Short answer, it's available, it's inexpensive, and it works. So ideally, before you even shoot your sharps, I would suggest taking it apart and putting anti-seize on all these parts. The nipple, and this is the clean out screw, and the clean out screw actually locks this flash hole in place, so you have to remove the clean out screw first, and then as far as I know there's no real tool to remove this, so I made one with just an 11mm socket, and I just filed some ears on it to fit these holes. You want to keep this sliding sleeve clean and lubricated also. Always use the hottest musket cap you can find. So why is having a strong spark so important for the 1859 sharps? Now look at the crazy path that the spark has to get to your paper cartridge. It's got to go through the small hole of the nipple, come down here, and it hits a dead end, so it has to make a 90-degree turn, come all the way across to the center of the block, and it's got to go through that little hole right there, which one end is blocked off with this screw. So it's got to make another 90-degree turn and come all the way up through this fitting and come out here to hit your paper cartridge. So you can kind of see why the most powerful percussion cap you can find is going to be your friend. The only change I've made to my PEDERSOLI is to change the stock nipple to the track of the Wolf Musket MMS1. It fits the RWS 1081s perfectly. Be aware that the catalog lists the wrong one to fit the ped. You may also find the flash channel diameter too small to do the job. I'll let you decide how to deal with that issue. The cartridges I prefer are the brass cases and the flat base paper cartridge. Occasionally I'll make up some cut tail hair curler paper cartridges just because they're quick and easy. So I've got a lot of questions about these brass cases that PEDERSOLI sells for the 59 sharps. Again, these are not traditional for the sharps. They didn't use these back in the day. I think the Burnside carbine from the Civil War used a kind of a similar case, but the sharps did not. But anyway, PEDERSOLI sells these as an easy way to reload yours. These are very thick, so these are never going to wear out. They're kind of expensive, but they'll last forever. The only thing I've actually done, I've polished these up so you can get them out of the chamber a little easier, and then I chamfered the mouth on there so you can start the bullet. And the only thing you really have to keep in mind is there's no extraction system, so you need to either use a cleaning rod, or in my case I just have this little hook that I use in there and put in the flash hole and pull it empty out that way. So to load these, I just punch out a little circle of the hair curler paper, put it in the bottom just to keep any powder from falling out, and then they hold about 55 grains of black MZ, and then I've been putting a playing card wad just on top of that. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but and then it gives you just enough room to seat the bullet with a slight amount of compression. PEDERSOLI sells a special bullet mold that actually is made to go with these brass cases, and you can also use it with the paper cartridges if you want, works fine. It's got a little groove here you can tie the paper cartridges on or glue them on like I did. So to seat these, I looked through my junk drawer and found a piece of flat stock. Looks like this was some Ace Hardware. And just fortunately it had a hole drilled and rebated that actually fits the profile of this bullet. So I just actually attached this to my reloading press, and I just put the nose of the bullet in that hole, and then I just gently press fit it in. You can feel the bullet pop in, and then we've got it seated all nice and square, and it's nice and solid. So I'll speed this up a little bit to save some time, but here's the brass cases in use with black MZ. If I was using real black powder, I'd probably get 3 or 4 shots before the action started to gum up and be hard to open, and then I'd have to start using the cleaning rod to knock the cases out of the chamber. Another thing about black MZ is I've been hearing for years that it has been discontinued. But as of January 2020, it was still on the shelf at Sportsman Warehouse for $9.99 a pound. You may have noticed I loaded these bullets naked. Alliance states, use no bullet lube. Although this goes against the grain, I did as instructed, and at the end of the day, the bore cleaned up with just water. I won't spend too much time on how I make my flat base cartridges. There are already some good YouTube videos dealing with that topic. I find the flat base cartridge just as reliable without the mess and random powder loss as the cut tail style. This is not a historically accurate way to make paper cartridges. It's my understanding, back in the day, they were made with animal intestines or linen and put together by orphans and widows. Being fresh out of orphans and animal guts, I make mine out of nitrated paper from Buffalo Arms and cap the end with in-wrap hair curler paper. I use 55 grains of black MZ, which is a good target load, and that way I don't have to re-regulate my sights. I fill the void with walnut media and a 50 caliber 1/4 inch circle fly nitro wad, so the end of the cartridge is just flush with the breech. Then I just actually glue the bullet on using the same Elmer's Sticks to More Surfaces glue. Seems to work fine. It saves a lot of trouble from having to tie every one of these bullets on, and it comes out really sturdy. Even if you drop them, they don't fall apart. So So in conclusion, we've got a replica Sharps rifle and replica black powder. I found MZ to be an affordable, accurate powder, lights as easy as black, and a great product to enjoy your Sharps carbine.